Hi, welcome to the Parking Lot Lads, the only podcast with some homies munching. I'm Eli, joined by my three friends, Ethan, Rylan, and Stoy. Today we're gonna be talking about like some stories, like those of childhood and life. What's up with that? To start, we got a new segment. We're gonna ask everyone a random question. Let's say let's say you were at Walmart, right? And you got the munchies. What's your go-to snack? What snack would you buy? I think I'd have to say orange slices.
Are we
No.
talking about like the candy orange slices or like actual
Yeah,
orange
yeah, like
slices?
the candy orange slices.
Oh, gotcha.
All right, what's y'all's go-tos?
Um, I
I
don't
got
know.
I got mine. So I don't really go to Walmart, but when I go to the gas station, it's always between one of three candies. We have Sour Patch Kids watermelon,
Mm-hmm.
Airheads soft filled bites specifically, and
Mm-hmm.
Swedish Fish. One of those
Mm.
three bags.
Like taste of lingonberry. You got it.
Swedish fish.
Is that
Valid.
yours?
Of course. I love
Um,
fish.
caramel M&Ms.
Ooh,
You're freaking weird.
dude, those are
No,
good.
Those
Those are
Nah.
good.
actually, those are so good.
They're so good,
those are like my favorite candy. Okay.
Yeah,
dude.
they're
Those are
good.
so smack. All right, now let's kick off with some good old childhood stories. All right, so I'm gonna start with one from way back when. All right, so I'm at my grandma's house with my cousins. Right, so we're going to some, I don't even know what it was, some kind of like thing at the bank. It was like some celebration thing or whatever. And we're all there and get our face painted and whatnot. And then there's a tornado warning. So we're all trying to figure out where this, we think there's a secret entrance to the basement to hide for a tornado. So we're like trying to figure out if it's like a floor tile that'll activate it or what. And we couldn't figure it out. So we didn't end up having to lock down in the bank. We got in my grandma's car and left. So then
Wait, what-
then when we got home with the face paint on, we're like, hey, we're kind of like the zombies from Left 4 Dead 2. So we started playing zombies, and then my one cousin had an allergic reaction, so we stopped playing.
Oh my
Oh
goodness.
no.
Wait, a celebration at the bank?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Maybe like a, I don't know.
Someone closing on their house?
Some event. I don't know. It
Okay.
was some
That
event. I don't know.
hmm.
Yeah,
I don't
That's
I don't
know.
really
definitely
know.
interesting.
It was pretty lit though. It was a blast until the tornado. But
I've got a real quick funny one.
all right,
When I was a small little teeny tiny child.
all right.
Um, I've been told from my parents and my sister that anytime I would be crying or whatever, they would they would turn on the little Einsteins every single time, and I would immediately shut up, quit crying, and just be dead set focused on the little Einsteins.
Bro,
As
Dude,
soon as soon as I heard the theme song start playing.
no wonder you're the way you are.
no shot.
Dude, yeah, it
Sorry, I
yeah.
used to watch it too.
I did too.
I can't remember if I
Going on a
watched it
trip
or not,
in our favorite rocket ship,
but
sailing
it's okay.
through the sky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know what you're saying.
for real. That's
Pop, I quit crying. Sorry.
next
I got a
story.
pretty lengthy one.
Go for it.
It's you guys probably heard it before. It's not really funny. It's more annoying. It was more annoying at the time.
All right.
But okay. So I was probably how old was I? Probably 8 years old. And we decided, me, my brother, my three step siblings, my mom, and my stepdad decided to drive to Florida,
Mm-hmm.
which sounds
Okay.
awful, right?
Yeah.
Well, we did, and the whole, I don't know how long it was, 20 some hour drive. It was something. I was okay, so my mom was driving, stepdad was in the passenger, and we were in a Tahoe, so we had 3 rows. It went my stepsister, my stepbrother, and me in the middle row, and then my real brother, and then my other stepbrother in the back. They both got to lay down with blankets because there's only 2 of them. One laid on the floor of the vehicle, and the other one laid in the seats.
Mhm.
And my brother, he's 4 years younger than me, so he would have been 4. He had probably a whole box of Twizzlers, fruit snacks, and a whole bag of gummy worms.
Mhm.
So he just constantly was throwing up on the whole way there. It was so
Oh
gross.
my.
Oh my gosh.
We'd stop, he'd throw up, and then we'd keep going.
That's why
But
it took so long.
yeah,
Like our drive back from Florida was 15 hours, and we stopped 3 times on the way home. Twice for food and one more time so Austin could use the bathroom.
I guess we also stopped for like a night to sleep. But yeah, and then so we finally got in Florida after forever. We checked I forget what it's called. Crystal Dunes. It was called Crystal Dunes. It was a condo.
Mhm.
And well, we got into our rooms and stuff, and everything was fine. I had to go to the bathroom. I had to take a pee, right? So I'm going to pee, and I'm like, I remember yelling at my mom, "Hey, what's this green stuff in the toilet?" And it was in the sink too. And she's like, "Oh, that's nice." So, and there was raw sewage in the toilet and the sink.
Oh.
So yeah, the we had to call front desk, and then they said they'd take care of it. And while we were waiting, because it would have taken a few days, they were going to give us a new like hotel.
Hmm.
Oh, sorry, chicken, drink water. Get a new
Mm.
hotel.
Mhm.
So this was in the middle of nowhere. We could not find it. We drove around. It was 20 minutes away, but it took us 3 hours to find it. Because it was in a gated community,
Mhm.
and the gate was locked. So we had to have someone come out and unlock the gate so we could get to our hotel.
Mhm.
But the problem with the hotel was it hadn't been like no one's been in it for looks like no one had been in it for a few years. There was specifically I remember everything was dusty.
Mhm.
There's mold on the towels.
Mm. That's
The door didn't lock. Like the front door didn't lock. What else? Door didn't lock. There's something else. Oh yeah, there's a hole in the couch, which was definitely something. So we called them and we're like, "Hey, give us a new hotel." And they're like, "Okay, whatever." So they gave us a new one. It was a lake house,
Mhm.
but that was also 30 minutes away. And keep in mind, this is at 8 o'clock at night. After we're like, you know, that crappy hotel. So we drive to that hotel, almost running out of gas in the middle of the road. The line was past E, and we're on a highway. There's something. So we get to a gas station called Tom Thumb. I specifically remember it being called Tom Thumb because I
Tom
thought it was stupid.
Thumb.
Tom Thumb,
That's
yeah.
goofy.
That's where I kind of started eating Swedish fish. I got a bag of Swedish fish. So we got to the lake house, and that was better, I guess. Nothing was wrong with it. Um, the shower didn't have any hot water. That was the only thing. And then so we stayed there. It was fine. So we stayed there at night, and then the next evening we got to go back to the original Crystal Dunes condo,
Mhm.
and that was fine. The whole week was fine after that. We got a decent refund, I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. Oh yeah. Also, one more thing. While I was there, there's a restaurant we went to. It
Mhm.
was called Fuddpuckers. It's like a restaurant, and it has like alligator exhibits. You can hold alligator and stuff. Um, so we went to that. It was really cool. I got a cup and a t-shirt, I'm pretty sure. And I also got yelled at one time because I said pud instead of Fudpuckers.
That's funny.
It was pretty cool. But yeah, after that, it's about it. Nothing crazy other than the raw sewage in the Nashi Hotel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
I had something on my mind to talk about, but it's completely blanking on me.
oh, well, I've got
Um,
a very short like thing I could talk about. When I was little, probably like maybe a couple years old. I don't know. I don't remember this personally. I was just told this, but apparently like I could just be chilling, and then my dad would like go up and be like ah or something like that, and I would fall flat to the ground face down and freak out. Like just
Um,
simple as that. Look,
that's what's up.
I don't know. They thought it was funny. And I think my mom got mad at him after doing it so many times because it freaked me out.
It's pretty cool.
I was in a hospital one time, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't remember what for. I know I was with my mom and my brother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting in the chair, my brother's doing something, my mom's sitting next to me. I looked down to the ground, and there was the DS copy of Plants vs. Zombies by PopCap.
Just chilling at the ground.
I like a good probably like 7-year-old pick it up and put it in my pocket, and it's mine now.
Nice.
Do you
Did you ever
still
get to
have
play
it?
it?
I think I do. I don't know.
I have a
I don't.
DS that Preston gave me.
Oh, that's what's up.
I still have my DS,
Oh, dude.
my 3DS.
I just I just thought of a funny story about DSs. So, um, we're we're at my church, right? And like I was probably like maybe like 7 or 8, I don't know. But I had a DS at the time, and so did my sister. And I'm holding her DS bag for whatever reason. Like we're probably the last to leave. Like it's just me, my sister, my parents, and the pastor. And the parents and the pastor are talking, right? And as I'm holding my sister's DS bag, I just start swinging this thing because why not? I'm a child and I'm bored, so I start swinging it in circles. And what do you know? It slams against the wall, and the DS is no longer working.
My goodness.
Dude, I've got some more insane DS stories. I feel like everyone's got one.
I have one.
Okay, so my brother and I were in our shared room at the time, right? Just chilling. I was probably like 10, he was probably 13. My sister was 7. She just got the DSi, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was my brother's old DSi. It was the Mario one that had like mushrooms on the front.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, come like 30 minutes after getting it, she like starts crying and calls for my dad. Okay?
Uh-huh.
And somehow in those 30 minutes that she just got her newly acquired DS, the screen and the bottom screen of the clamshell had been torn apart.
What?
Like
What?
completely separated. She's like,
No.
please, I don't know how it happened, please. My dad's like, what do you want me to do about it?
That's funny. That's
I have
cool.
a DS story, 3DS story. Well, I have two small ones. So first, I once spent. So I had Omega Ruby. That was my first Pokemon game.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 7 hours shiny hunting Groudon, and it come to find out it was shiny locked after I googled it.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. And my second one is a little bit longer. So I was playing my DS till like 12 a.m. one time. Now, keep in mind, I'm like 8, probably 9. and I'm playing it, and it's 12. It's like 12, and my brother comes in. We had bunk beds, so I set my DS down on the nightstand right next to us. I was in the top bunk. My brother had a cup of milk, and he set it on said nightstand. And in the morning, I wake up, go to play my DS, and there's milk all over it. So
Nah.
I proceed to yell at my brother and probably punch him several times. And he's like, I remember saying, "No, I didn't do it. It wasn't me." And first of all, obviously he did it. I couldn't have done it. I was on the top bunk. It was
Right.
his glass of milk.
Right.
And so I have my grandfather fix it. I'm pretty sure, or no, I have my grandfather like take it apart and clean it. But in the process, he like accidentally tore one of the ribbons that is the
Oh,
function for the
no.
bumpers. So
Ooh.
my R button still doesn't work, and which wasn't the worst thing. It's not that big of a button. So I managed to put 300 hours in Pokemon Sun without an R button. That's about it.
Wow.
Oh,
And I caught two shinies. One was a Mudstale, and another one was a Pancham.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
That's
that's it.
what's up.
I don't have a DS story, but I've got a Wii story.
Oh,
It's kind of an
boy.
embarrassing Wii story.
Oh, let's hear it.
So when I was a little kid, my go-to thing was to just lick the inside of the nunchuck port on Wii remotes.
What the heck?
What?
What?
I do not know why.
So
I don't know why I did it. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Is that the extent of the story?
Yeah, that's it.
I
You
was
remember what it tastes like?
uh,
You know, it's like
it was like I don't know. Like I remember what the taste was, but I can't compare it to anything.
dude, I was expecting some intricate story of like he got caught licking it or like got zapped or something, I don't know. But then he just goes, I used to lick him and that's it.
man.
That's
That reminds me
that's good.
of another thing. So, my sister, another my sister thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
My brother and I both got Kindle tablets, right? Instead of phones, we both got tablets. We were tablet kids. Okay, okay. Right?
Yeah.
Jokes are over now.
Yeah. So, she is like, let me play on your tablet, Raiden. Because that's my brother. And I'm like, and he's like, okay, I guess. She somehow manages, while she's playing like her My Little Pony City Builder game or whatever it was, to delete all of the data on the Kindle.
Nah.
All of it.
Nah.
Response is like, oh, I was just playing my game. I don't know what happened.
Oh my gosh.
What are you talking about?
No.
And then my parents were like, okay, that's really unfortunate. You can just play on Rylands. And I'm over here like, what the heck? So I'm like trying not to like watch over her because I want to do my own thing, but I'm also like trying to make sure she doesn't delete all the save data.
Bro. What even?
Wow.
That's whack.
That is pretty whack.
My sister's a creature, dude.
Sounds
So I have an idea for a story that we probably all have.
all right.
Do you guys remember or could take a guess on how you guys got into video games? Like, what was your first game?
Oh.
System? What was your first
I've
game
got
for
another Wii
system?
story with this.
Oh boy.
I don't know my first game, but I have like the most distinct memory for sure.
So it kind of ties, like, a lot of these stories are all tied together. So Eli probably remembers this. I'm not sure if you or if Story or Rylan remember this. But do you remember when I broke my monitor, my TV?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And then got a new one and broke that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That third TV that I started using that was already at my house, I had since I was a little child.
Hmm.
That same TV has put up with Wii Sports Bowling.
Oh no.
That Wii Sports and Mario Kart were like the first games I ever played. And, being a 5-year-old, you don't use the wrist strap, you're rebellious. You don't need that.
Oh, I used it.
And
You would.
let's just say that TV took a lot of Wii remotes.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I, th-
All right.
I think my.
My.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Okay. I don't know the first game I played because my parents were into playing video games, so they just kind of had the game systems around. Like I know I've had an N64 in my room probably since I was born.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the most distinct memory I have is playing Assassin's Creed with my dad.
Ooh,
That's where it was at.
that's
That's
what's
He'd
dope.
be like
up.
actually trying to play, and then I'd go around the city just like murdering everyone in sight. So much fun.
Oh.
My most.
I feel like the GTA way of playing Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think my most distinct memory of first playing video games is probably like back when the Wii was newer. Like I remember wanting it for Christmas, and then we got it. And my grandma that lives out of state was over for Christmas, and then they had her unwrap it, acting as if it was for her. And then I was like, "No, it's not. She can't play the Wii or something like that. Like she's too old. I don't remember." But
Too old.
but I was sitting there sweating like it better be for me, and like I'm freaking out my mind, but it was for me, so no worries. And I think the first thing I played on that thing was Super Mario Bros. Wii, and it was like
What a good game.
it went crazy, bro. I remember grinding that game for hours, and only having like limited games. I think I replayed that game so many times,
Oh yeah. I
though I
I
never.
remember going over to Clayton's house, showing him how to beat Bowser. He couldn't do it.
Wow.
So we sat there in his
Dang.
living room trying to beat Bowser for like an hour. Because I knew how to do it, but he couldn't figure it out.
So I think mine. It's hard to remember because I'm pretty sure they all happen around the same time. So, like I said, I had a DS. I also had a Wii. I can't remember which was first, but I'll tell you both. My first DS game was, what was it? It was Sonic. I forget what was Sonic. Hang on, let me see this. It was Sonic. Which Sonic was it? Hang on, I can find it. Give you 1 second. Sonic Lost World. That was my first Sonic game.
Lost
First my
World?
DS game.
That sounds
Yeah.
familiar.
It was it was obviously 3D. It was like, I don't know. It was kind of. I'm pretty sure it's like one of the worst Sonic games, but it's whatever.
That's fine.
And then I got my Wii from a family friend who just didn't use it anymore. It had a bunch of games. I got a bunch of games with it. I had the Wii Sports games. I remember having Eminem kart racing. Yeah, I think my first.
Wait.
Yeah, Eminem.
Eminem kart racing.
Yeah.
What?
I want to see if I can find it.
That's what's
Dude.
up.
Not fart racing, kart racing. Yeah.
Diddy Kong kart racing for the N64 goes crazy.
Yes.
That's
So my
that's
first
valid.
my first games were Sonic Lost World on the 3DS and Wii Sports and Mario Kart on the Wii. And then it just evolved from there.
That's valid.
Valid.
I think, yeah. Okay, let's be real. Who's like first, at least one of three first games wasn't Wii Sports when it comes to the Wii? Like
Oh,
that
Wii Sports Resort was my first game.
oh dude, Resorts went hard, bro. I remember like spending hours just flying around in an airplane because why not?
True.
Dude, so true.
Dude,
Okay, real quick, what was your guys' progression through consoles?
um I played on the Wii and the DS. I can't remember which was first. Um Not counting my iPod. We at one point got a family PlayStation 3. So like my dad bought it and it sat in the living room. And that thing slapped, I gotta say. And then I had a 360 and like with the I got a 360 from a family member when we were at a family reunion, I think. He was packing it up and he was having me help him and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is fine. I'll help him pack it up or whatever." And he's like and then we go into my car and I'm like, "Hold up, wait, is this for me?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, oh, "Let's go!" Like I had no clue as I'm holding the wires and helping him pack this thing up that I was taking it. And then I ended up giving that away like however many years later to some kid that had went through a hard time. And then I got an Xbox One and now I'm on PC pretty much.
Gotcha.
We at some point got an SNES too, but that was more so a family thing than mine.
So mine, it's if not it's weird because my parents are split up. So it was first or like I said, it was close. So my first were DS and Wii.
Mhm.
Then I got a 360 after that, and then oh I can't believe I did. I got a Wii U. I had a Wii U,
Mm.
unfortunately. And then after the Wii U, I got an Xbox One at both houses, and then I got a Switch, and
Oh,
then I'm on PC now.
I also forgot I did get a Switch at some point, but yeah.
Yeah. What was
Okay.
mine? I started on Wii. I know that much. And
Mhm.
then went to Wii, no, Wii to Wii U
Mhm.
to 360 to Xbox One
Mhm.
and then a Switch and then my PC. I didn't have anything older than that, so I think we got a Sega Genesis just for the heck of it.
The grandparents have them.
I've also
All
gotten
right.
and I forgot. I also have an N64 but no games.
Oh,
My story is long and winding
Oh, let's hear it.
because
I'll buckle
my
up.
dad likes video games too.
I'm
So
buckled up.
I of course started with the N64 that my dad just kind of handed down to me.
Mhm.
It's maybe like 5 feet away from me right now, actually.
Mhm.
And then we got a Wii, which I thought was like the coolest thing ever. And then
Real.
we got a Xbox 360 with Kinect, and I thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Mhm.
And then after the Kinect, we got I got a DS at some point in there too. It was a 3DS Red. I remember that
Ooh.
specifically.
I
Oh,
was a
mine
blue
was
guy
blue.
myself. Yeah, blue boys.
I never had a
Oh,
3DS.
oh, poor baby.
Austin had a red. That's how it always was in our house. I had blue and Austin had red.
My DS was red.
Okay, so right after the Xbox 360, my dad purchased for my brother a Retron 5,
I've never
which
heard of
was
that.
What is that?
it was
Exactly. What is that?
basically like custom console that could run 4 different old hardware like NES, SNES, Genesis, and another one.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was. And then he bought those mini NES and SNES that Nintendo released.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a PS4.
Nice.
This was after our Wii died.
Mm. Rip.
And then after the PS4, it was the Switch.
Mhm.
And then I got a computer.
The gamer top.
The gamer
Yeah,
top.
they gave me that. And yeah, that's that.
That's
Done.
what's up. That's
Fair
what's
enough.
up. Well,
I've got a story to share.
all right. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
It is probably my fondest memory with one of the people in here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it is the one that shares the profile picture with me.
Oh, it's me.
All right, so good old Ethan. I used to be in Boy Scouts, right?
Okay.
So did he.
I still
Cub
am.
Scouts, Cub Scouts, right? So we're going to our local camp, which I won't name for because I still live by it. I'm not
That
trying
is
to
true. I still go there.
It's not that close.
It's not that close, but it's kind of close, right?
Enough to dox
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
That's all right.
So it was his dad driving him, his brother, and I to the camp. It was maybe like a 30, 45-minute drive.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty.
Probably less. Well, the dad turns on his great camp tunes, of course, and no song other than the wonderful
The
SpongeBob
campfire song.
campfire song.
What a song.
And then the whole car was singing, and it's probably just something that'll stick with me for no reason.
You know, that's a valid story. In the camping mood, um, I have a story. You've probably all heard this from a few years back. I
You
was
told us this. I told 3 of us this week.
yeah.
Everyone but Stoy this week.
Yeah, a few years back, I was camping with some with my cousins and whatever. We're at this campsite. We're all having a blast. My cousins, it's like for the 4th of July, so like we're playing with poppers. My cousin played Fortunate Son on the guitar while we're all chilling, having a blast, you know, watching movies outside. And then we get to the tent part. So we're all sleeping in the tent. We wake up in the morning and
Hmm.
the food is not settling well with me.
No.
I wake up with the urge to throw up. I crawl to the door, try to unzip it. It wouldn't unzip, and I puke on the tent door. and,
Oh, man.
and then I managed to get it unzipped and go and finish throwing up in the bushes. And then luckily I was wearing like a pair of sweatpants and a hoodie over shorts and a t-shirt. So I just took that stuff off and was fine. And then my cousin wakes up and goes, is someone making breakfast? Is that like pancakes or something? It was not breakfast. He thought my puke smelled like breakfast.
It was Eli's lunch.
Bro thought
Yep.
it was goofy.
I've got quite a few throwing up stories.
Oh boy.
Tell one
But
of yours.
before we get to that, methinks it's time for Fish of the Week,
Yeah.
everyone's favorite returning segment. All right. Today's Fish of the Week They can get really old. They live in rivers and in the ocean. Any guesses?
Is it?
Mm,
What is
Blobfish. Is that a
that?
blobfish? No, that's not a blobfish.
It's
It's
a
a cat. That's a
sturgeon.
sturgeon. Let's
That's a
go.
sturgeon. They're covered in like plates. They don't have jaws. And those guys hanging down, kind of like a mustache, those are called barbels.
Mustache. Barbles.
They
Oh,
can live up to 100, and their eggs are commonly uh used for caviar.
Hmm.
Oh.
Nice.
That's the sturgeon.
Sturgeon. Great fish.
All right, so anyway, throwing up.
Yeah, let's
got-
just
I got-
segue into that quick.
Just
I
casually.
got something wrong with my body, right?
Yeah.
The people in this voice chat know it all too well. Occasionally, I'll just get this feeling like, oh man, I gotta throw up, and then I
Need
do.
we mention the Edgerton football game?
But it's like, okay, just not us like that. Okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, like, I'll eat like, one bite of sandwich. 2 bite of sandwich. 3 bites of sandwich. Oh no. What's this? And then I throw up.
He ate too many bites.
It's like a consistent thing. Don't know what's up with me. One time I had a milkshake from Burger King and then I threw up in my great grandma's driveway.
Mm. What kind of
Nice.
milkshake was it though?
It was like a fruity pebble milkshake they had.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Makes sense.
It was good, but man, was it weird to its bulge.
Ugh.
I think the funniest story of Rylan throwing up that I remember is we're we went to a robotics competition not too long ago, and we're all chilling in the hotel room at night playing Jackbox. All like there's like 6 or 7 of us. We're all playing Jackbox, and then Rylan goes, "Excuse me, I gotta go throw up," and walks out just like that. And me knowing this, like knowing that he does this, I'm not shocked, but everyone else is like, "Huh?" Like they're all puzzled because, like, just confused because he casually gets up, "I gotta go throw up," and then walks away. But I think the funniest part is, even in the midst of him throwing up, he's still serving answers for Jackbox. He didn't stop playing.
He was in between throwing up.
He was committed to the game, bro.
Clearly.
I gotta say, the worst part about throwing up during that trip was like this solid mass of goldfish at the end of the second time I threw up.
Oh.
That was awful. I had to like cough it up.
Oh.
You're gonna make me throw up just sitting here talking about it.
Bro,
Yeah.
that's just a
Gross.
hilarious time, though.
But yeah, if you can't tell, throwing up for me is kind of just regular now. It's really weird.
Oh man.
It's just this thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just my
it's
thing.
just this thing.
Mm.
My one big throwing up story. Actually, I got one throwing up story, and the other one that's another bodily function story.
Oh no.
The throwing up story was last year during school. I went to the restroom during study hall. Last period of the day was talking to my brother after I finished taking care of my business. And he looks at me. He's like, "Dude, are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine." And then not more than a half second later, I was throwing up in the trash can. While simultaneously releasing the number 2 out of my bum.
Throws the dual-ended Struder. What the heck?
That was the night of the chamber banquet too.
Oh, man.
Because I was supposed to go home with them after school.
You did go home with
Yeah,
me.
I went home with him after school. So this man just got violently sick, but I still went home with him.
That's amazing.
And then
That's not the only time that I've taken Eli home and then gotten sick, or gotten sick then taken Eli home.
it's true.
One of the pep bang games that I missed. I went home and slept. I did not feel good during school. Went home and slept and got sick.
It's true.
I threw up my salad.
Dude, it was hilarious. Like I'm sitting in his room and his mom's like, "Ethan, get down here." She's like freaking out because he was not coming down. And then he's like, "Mom, I feel like crap." And so he keeps laying in bed. And then he gets up, goes downstairs and throws up. And I'm just sitting in his desk chair like, what is going on?
Yeah, my bad.
Oh man.
I don't know if I have a throw up story. I
Oh.
might. I think I do actually. Okay, so so basically, okay, I have two. So one was in the 4th grade.
Mhm.
I had we had our English teacher, Mrs. MC.
Oh,
She was
Mhm.
kind of mad at me because I don't know, during that class my head was down the entire time. And
Mhm.
she's like, I forget what she said. It was something along the lines of, "What are you doing? Are you gonna do any of your work?" And I looked up and I shook my head no, put my head back down to where my forehead was only on the desk, and I threw up all over the floor.
That is the ultimate move.
And then she
No.
was no longer mad at me.
I've got another throwing up story.
And then one sorry. So I have
ahead,
also a story about Ethan, not about Ethan, but along the lines of Ethan going out both ends, so to say. So I stayed home from school and I was sick, so I threw up. It's funny. To me at least. So I was throwing up, but I turned to
You turned to what?
oh, give me a second, give me a second. Oh, sorry. Okay, so I turned to throw up in the toilet, but at the same time, it was going out the other
Oh,
end, right?
I've done that too.
Nah.
So I don't
Never.
remember if it either went on the wall or in the shower.
Oh, mine
But
went
one
all
of the-
over the wall.
But yeah, it did that.
That's just been rude.
And then when I was done, I realized I could have grabbed the trash can and threw up in the trash can and just sat down. But it was too late. The deed had been done.
Bro,
Yeah.
that just reminded me. I don't know why that reminded me of this story, but so there was one time I wake up in the middle of the night, right? So I'm like, probably maybe like 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that. I don't know. I wake up in the middle of the night. I was like, oh man, my stomach kind of hurts. So my room is right across my parents' room in this house. So I get up, you know, the usual thing you do when you're a kid. You get up, go to your parents, and tell them about it, and
I'm sick.
they're magical. They'll fix it. Well, I go in my parents' room. I was like, Dad, and
I threw it up.
he looks over. He's like, huh? I was like, Dad, my stomach. And then as I say stomach, I threw up all over him. Like I threw up all over their room, and he quickly jumps out of bed and he's like, honey, Eli just threw up, and he's like freaking out. and I'm just sitting there like dead because I'm sick, and my dad's freaking out. Quickly gets out of bed and hops in the shower, and my mom's confused as to what just happened.
Mom, I float up.
I got one. So this is a wedding story, okay?
Oh boy.
Mm.
So I went to this wedding. I don't remember who the people are. They were some friends of my parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm eating crackers because I just love the taste of crackers, okay?
Right, right. As one does.
And as we're leaving, I throw up all along the driveway of the place they were having their wedding.
No.
Like, was there like a line? Just like
It wasn't like a
trail
line, more just
almost.
like just a huge puddle, okay?
Oh my gosh.
And my parents don't know what to do, so they just leave.
Bro.
That's what's
I don't think they've taken me to a wedding since, actually.
Nah.
um
Hmm.
I don't know if I have another story that comes to mind. Oh, I had like little things I did as a kid that are probably not normal. So
Not
every
normal.
time I had to go, since my mom used to work during the day, so I had to go to my grandparents in the morning every day. This is like before I went to school and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And every time we'd go to the store, I'd get a Hot Wheels car. And eventually I had like 70 of these things.
Yeah.
And I would take the time to line them all up in one row. And then if I had to go to the kitchen or something, some other room for something, and I'd come back and one of the cards were either misaligned or turned around, I'd get so mad and I'd kick them all over and make a mess and I wouldn't clean it up.
Oh my god.
Bro, I'd get beat if I didn't clean that up. Not like beat, but like, you know.
It was more of like a funny thing that my grandparents used to do because they know that's what would happen.
That's hilarious.
So they used to mess it up intentionally
Yeah,
so that you would come
yeah.
so that you would come in the room and just kick them all
Yeah.
over the place.
And then not
Yeah.
clean them up.
Yeah.
W grandparents.
For real. Oh man. Dude, I remember being at my grandparents' house, and at the time being, my aunt and uncle lived there. And so I'm hanging out with my cousins, and we're all upstairs watching the older cousin whose bedroom is up there. I think it's their bedroom, or maybe it's the parents' bedroom, I don't remember. But so we're watching the older cousin play the Wii, right? We're like all sitting up there watching them play the Wii, and then suddenly my aunt from downstairs goes, "If you guys don't get down here and leave the room right now, I'm gonna whip you all," and like has a belt slapping it. We're like, ah, and we're like all freaking out, tumbling down the stairs. It was scary, bro. We were just watching her play the Wii. It was scary.
That's funny.
Yikes.
Did anyone ever have that thing that like their parents told them was illegal and they should never do?
Oh, yeah, I
Uh,
know what you're talking about.
It was it? I feel like
Shoplifting.
I feel like mine's like the most
Wait,
universal one
hold
is
on.
turning the light on.
Did
Wait a minute.
Back up. Ethan, did you say
Shoplifting.
shoplifting? That kind of is
on, what?
illegal. Ethan.
I think he means like things that aren't actually illegal.
Goodness.
For context, I stole a juicy fruit package from Chiefs.
Nah.
My mom caught me with it because I was opening it in the back seat of her car. She looked back. She's like, "Where'd you get that?" I'm like, "I got it from the
grabbed it."
store." I grabbed it from the store, and she's like, "You didn't pay for that. Don't do that again."
You didn't return it?
No, there's a $1 pack of gum.
She didn't even like yell at you or anything?
Oh no, she was mad.
Oh, I was gonna say, I would not believe your mom not yelling at you for that.
Yeah.
She was really mad.
So mine was always if you turn the light on in the car at night, you're gonna get pulled over. So
Yeah.
don't.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for
Like
real.
you definitely could turn the light on.
Well, I mean, there was a point where it was like that, but then it didn't stay like that very long because of finding out I had the eye disease I do. Sometimes I needed the light, so my parents were like, maybe we do let him use the light occasionally. I was
Yeah, for
lucky
the
in that
longest time, I
sense.
thought that was illegal.
I
Well,
mean,
not illegal, but like it'll get you pulled over.
I still questioned if it would get you pulled over there.
It definitely won't. What are they on?
They just didn't want the distraction. Parents are
That's
smart
what it
sometimes,
is.
bro.
Like it's fair, but come on.
For real.
This is not so much illegal, but something I realized growing up that you know how you always sit at the table and not want to eat your food because there's something you didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And something I realized was your parents never had that problem because they only cooked the foods they liked. That just blew my mind
I mean, sometimes
as
they'd
a
cook
young
stuff
child.
I wanted though.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, if they were going to eat it, like, for example, my mom doesn't like Brussels sprouts. She's never made Brussels sprouts ever.
Yeah, that makes
Same
And that's
with
sense.
just something
my parents.
interesting. And I always thought it was unfair.
But growing up, I was kind of fortunate in that area because my parents had a rule of, or more so my dad more so enforced it, but it was you had to at least try it. If you didn't like it, you didn't have to eat it, but you had to at least try it.
My
And
parents were always like, back in my day, whenever they gave food to us and we didn't like it, we still ate it. And then one
Kid,
time
that's
at my
cool. That was back in the
babysitter's,
80s.
which I could go on for hours about all the horrible things that happened to me, she tried to feed me a pickle, which I don't like pickles.
Mhm.
And I like was at the bench where she had us eat for like a solid hour just holding a pickle.
Nah.
Disgusting. And then she'd be
Just
like, if you don't eat that pickle, I'm gonna give you another one, and then you're gonna have to eat both of them.
Ooh, pickles.
I still didn't eat it, and she never followed through with it.
Bro. Genius plan. Ah, yes. If they don't eat the one pickle, they'll obviously eat two.
Oh,
I see the plan there, but
I have
I would
another.
intentionally sit there and not eat the pickle because I love pickles.
Yeah, shut up.
I have another story about foods I didn't like. So in second grade, we had this whole thing about apples. We went to an apple orchard,
Yeah.
toured that around, and back when we got back to the classroom, we were all supposed to get an apple and do like this worksheet with it. And me not knowing we were doing a worksheet with it, I told the people bringing in apples, no, I don't want one because I don't like them. So I got yelled at by the teacher and I had to go sit in the hallway because I didn't get an apple.
I even sit in the hallway
Bruh.
because I didn't get an apple.
Well, I didn't know we were doing a worksheet. I thought they were just giving us an apple to eat. And I'm like, I don't like apples, so I'm not going to eat it. I'm not going to waste food.
That's funny.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair
That's
enough.
valid.
I had to sit on the hall.
Evil teacher, bro.
It is what it is. I still don't like
Indeed.
apples.
Back in
This
preschool,
is
preschool,
good.
so I'm a big guy known for not enjoying the taste of cheese, right? And back in preschool, after orientation of my parents telling them that I didn't like cheese, the preschool teacher thought it'd be pretty funny to try and make me eat a grilled cheese. I was not having it, bro. It was at lunchtime. I was like, I don't like grilled cheese, and they were like, just eat it. And I was like, I don't like grilled cheese. And then everyone in the class is like, come on, Eli, just eat it. Just try it. Just try it. I was like, I know I don't like it. Leave me alone. And I'm like,
You still don't like cheese.
my taste buds are changing. I kind of like it sometimes, but I still don't like it that much. But they're like all trying to force me to eat the thing that I know I don't like. I was mad.
Was mad.
I've got a fourth grade story with the same teacher that Stoy had, Mrs. MC.
Oh
Ooh.
boy.
I feel like partially this teacher should be fired because everyone has a horror story with this teacher, from what I've heard.
I don't.
I don't remember
You
much
don't?
from her
You're one of the
class, if
lucky
I'm gonna be
ones.
real.
I remember
So I was in
specific
her
things about
class,
her.
right?
Mm-hmm.
We were doing something about the Native Americans because that's what she covered in her class, right?
Yeah.
And so she has this thing, us do this thing, it's like four corners or something, where there's an answer assigned to each corner of the room, and you go stand to which one you think the answer is, right? Well, I
Mm-hmm.
was the only one to stand in a corner, and I got it right, right?
Yeah.
So as she was like telling the rest of the class why they were wrong,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like dancing because this is like fourth grade, right? I'm dancing to celebrate, okay?
Yeah.
And she yells at me, "Stop dancing."
Nah.
Bro, I am a 10-year-old. This is what I do.
Did you like? Was that the extent of her yelling, or did you like freak out and then she got even more mad?
Like, I didn't get like visibly upset, but going back on it, I think this is like one of the root causes of why I have self-confidence issues sometimes.
Bruh.
So about the same teacher, there's a few things I specifically remember that I hated. One, since I'm pretty sure she was an English teacher, she would
Yeah.
always like whenever ask someone how they're doing, they say I'm doing good, right? She'd
Mhm.
always protest that that's wrong. You should say I'm doing well. And I thought
Mhm.
that was the stupidest thing, for one. And two,
Yeah, I agree.
another thing was she would always say when another student was like either talking back or they were doing something wrong, she'd say, "Well, here's the whole thing," and explain what they were doing wrong and how they were stupid, basically. She would always
Okay.
say, "Well, here's the whole thing," and I always hated it because I knew that it involved another student getting lectured.
Bro.
Oh, great. Here we go again, Jaren. Quit getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't remember her at like hardly at all. What?
You're lucky.
The only thing that bugged me about her class is that since I was in the Math Horizons,
Mm-hmm.
I felt that I didn't have to do her stupid daily math warm up. And I was wrong.
Wait, what?
It still doesn't make sense. I'm not in the same math class. Come on, lady. I did this thing a year ago.
What?
The warm up.
What class did she teach, Mrs. Carlson?
It was
Or wait, no, Mrs. MC. We're talking about.
Ms.
So,
MC, I
yeah.
thought she was an English
Yeah, it
teacher.
was
So
English.
all of the fourth grade teachers taught social studies,
Yeah.
To their
just like
home-
fifth and sixth grade,
What grade was Mrs.
And-
Carlson?
same grade. She taught science.
Okay,
Fourth.
I had her. That's why I never had Mrs. MC then, because halfway through. That's probably why I don't remember her. Halfway through fourth grade, I got into Horizons for math and English. So I don't remember
Yeah.
like anything from Mrs. MC's. I do remember having the one and only Joe Blake math class for a short-lived time.
What a silly guy, dude.
That was a fun class. One one standout memory I have from fourth grade though is in Mrs. Carlson's, right? Me and Peyton sit at the same little pod, right? We're sitting across from each other. We start playing Foot Wars. Okay? It wasn't.
Is
It,
this
it wasn't footsies.
is
It
this-
was foot wars. So like our troops, which is our feet,
answered my question?
would go in and just like attack each other, like basically kicking at each other in strategic ways, basically. But like it's all fun and games until Mrs. Carlson comes up. Eli Payton, stop kicking each other, stop playing footsies, and we're like, man, we're just playing foot wars. And she like freaked out because we're playing foot wars.
Y'all are playing footsie in Mrs. Carlson's room.
No, oh, it was foot wars.
Is there another? Oh, I have another story about a different teacher. Well, it's not a story. It's more of a thing. Oh no, it is a story. Never mind. Sorry. So, my sixth grade math teacher, Mrs. What's her name? Mrs.
Yagelski.
Yagelski. I called her Mrs. Yagelski.
Yagelski.
I always hated it. So if we weren't paying attention in class, she'd look up at the ceiling and say, "Eyes up here."
Mhm.
And then one time, I looked up at the ceiling, I got yelled at, which was stupid because it was her fault for looking at the ceiling. But no, I'm the one in the wrong.
Bruh.
And keep in mind, this is sixth grade, so us sixth graders kind of know, like, kind of what's going on. And
Yeah.
this is also the time when the more delinquent children started vaping. So we
In
constantly had this
sixth
talk.
grade?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
This
awful.
their names were
Whoa.
Trevor and Sean. They don't go to school anymore. At our school anymore. But they would always sit in the back of the class with sweatshirts on, puffing loud. And
So it'd
we
be like,
always
it'd be like,
and Mrs. What's Mrs. Thorpe, or was it Mrs. No, it'd be
Yeah,
Mr.
Mrs.
Thorpe.
Thorpe.
Mr. Thorpe would always come in and take those kids away.
Hmm.
Also, speaking about that Sean kid, he had I'm pretty sure he got caught with like drugs in his locker,
oh my gosh.
Dang. In sixth
which
grade?
was yeah.
What?
Gosh, dang,
Dude,
dude.
I'm
I
pretty
got
sure that's why he
another
doesn't go to school here anymore.
Oh my gosh.
Probably.
It
But yeah.
was like probably like third grade, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I was on my bus in the morning, right?
Yeah.
I know you guys have all heard this. So I'm walking, I'm on the bus, I'm sitting down, right?
Mm-hmm.
The lady that sits across from me sits down, okay? She's wearing a coat. It's like the middle of winter, the heat's on, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She asked me, "Hey, do you think I'm hot?" I look at her with her coat on, and I go, "Yeah."
The Riz is insane.
Was she also
Because I think she's talking about warmth. But it's only in retrospect that I realized she was talking about her physical attractiveness.
was she like also a third grader or was she older?
This definitely wasn't third grade. This was probably like fifth grade. I completely don't know why I said third
Dude,
grade.
Was
But
the
yeah,
other person also a fifth
it
grader,
was-
or
she's the same age as me. She actually
Okay.
got help back. Kind of embarrassing.
So they're
my
a
grade?
sophomore now?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't think she even goes to our school anymore.
Oh, do you remember her first name? I kind
I
of
do, but I'm not gonna say it for
fair enough. I can't.
now.
Yeah. But
I
dude,
That's funny.
bus stories go crazy. I remember this one time on my bus, right? I was like, I wasn't even in high school yet. I think I was still in junior high. I don't know. But I became the kid that like the high schoolers were cool with. So like the cool kids at the back of the bus, they're like, "Yeah, what's up, little homie?" or something like that. Like,
Little homie.
like they're cool with like one of the few smaller kids they're cool with, right? So at one point I started sitting with them for a little bit, and the one kid got out of the seat to let me get on the inside seat, and when I got in the seat, my book bag swung and smacked him right in the balls. And he's annoyed because I just hit him in the balls with my book bag, but everyone else is just dying laughing. Like all of the other kids on the bus that were high schoolers, they thought it was hilarious, and so did I because I just hit him in the balls. What's not funny about that? And then when we got to the school and we were getting ready to get out of the bus, he so we were in the very last seat. He stood behind the seat against the back of the bus that way he wouldn't get hit again. He was
You just unlocked so many bus memories. I also was a kid who sat with the older high schoolers in the back of the bus.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
I was sitting in the back of the bus. I remember two kids. They were like Nolan and Tanner, I think. They don't go
Nolan.
to school here anymore.
Oh,
Those kids. And
yeah.
also it was those two and then some other kid who lived in the country. I forget his name. Hayden, like your cousin Ethan,
Yep.
and Addie, Colin's Colin's
Yeah,
sister.
yeah.
Um, I remember one time I was sitting with Nolan's little brother Tanner, and across from me was Addie and someone else I forget. Nolan was in the seat in front of us, and he kept messing with us, and it was whatever. He was like looking at me and his little brother. So I was drinking a water bottle, and you know how like in TV it's portrayed like if they were drinking like teacups or something, they'd hold their pinky out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I did that with my water bottle, and I guess it was a thing that people thought if you held your pinky out, it was flipping someone off in Chinese, which I don't think is true at all.
Yeah, it's not.
But
No,
then
definitely not.
I got like Tanner's older brother was like, "Oh, you're flipping Addie off." I'm like, I was so confused. So then Addie took offense, told the bus driver. The bus driver yelled at me. Then I got home. My weed got taken away. I got yelled at by my mom, and I had to apologize over the phone to Addie. And it wasn't even my
Bro.
fault because they took it as me actually flipping them off, and I was so disappointed because I never actually told my mom to this day what actually happened.
I think you ought to go tell her.
Dude, I
Mhm.
would have told her like the night it happened, like I didn't
Well,
do it.
keep in mind, I'm like this 7-year-old who, when they cry, they can't express words,
Yeah,
Yeah, fair.
that's fair.
and
But
it's just
you didn't like bother to tell her that you weren't flipping her off when you were on the
I.
bus still?
I'm pretty sure I tried, and she didn't believe me
Oh, probably.
because I didn't want to get my weed taken away.
That's funny.
But yeah,
Dude, I'm bus went crazy, but I'm kind of glad
I
I
rode the bus
don't
for
ride
2
it.
years.
Went crazy.
Dude, I remember that's where I first met Rylan, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Yeah.
Cause,
that's where I first met Rylan as well.
Cause he didn't like I didn't sit with like he didn't I don't know if he even rode the same bus as me for some time, but suddenly he did, and we started sitting with each other. I was like, "Yo, what's up?" And we started sitting with each other, and then he's like, "Yo, give me your number so I can send you memes." And then I gave him the wrong number by accident, and
Yeah,
he sent
that's
some
right.
random guy memes.
I've got another bus story. Okay.
All right, all right.
So this was probably like eighth grade. Okay. I ride the bus. There's these two like little kids that ride with me. Maybe like third, and then like another a little bit younger. They were brothers.
Mhm.
Oh,
Channel. Okay, hold
Mhm.
on. Reset. So they were brothers, right?
Yeah,
These two kids, right? Well,
yeah.
they started calling me their big buddy, which was like kind of cute, you know, it's whatever. Well, anyways, the older one, every day he'd go up to me and be like, "Hey, big buddy, can I play games on your phone?" Right? Kind of cringe to start out with, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So what I'd do is I'd see like, "Okay, wait till Friday and I'll let you play games on your phone, on my phone, right?"
Mhm.
And he'd always be like, "Okay, okay." And then Friday would come around and I'd be like, "Okay, my phone's dead. I'm really sorry. How about we do it tomorrow?"
No.
Yes,
Menace.
finally. Yes, finally.
Nah.
And then Monday would roll around and he'd be like, "What? What do you mean?" But
That's
like he never
awful.
caught on. This happened every week.
Menace.
That's awful, bro.
Yeah.
So I got one little short bus story left about how I first met Rylan.
All right.
So to it was a so I was like I was fairly young. And I was living with Jaden, like I can't say his last name, but
Yeah.
you know who I'm talking about, right?
Mhm.
Long hair,
Rylan?
Jaden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We know who you're talking
So
about.
we had to ride the bus in the morning a few times, and I remember sitting in a seat, and Jaden's like, "Hey, Kyler, hey, Stoy, this is Rylan. He's a cool guy," and I'm like, "Yo, what's up?" And that's about it. And I'm pretty sure you were playing your DS on the bus or some kind of.
That sounds right. I used to do that all the time.
But yeah, that was the first time I met you.
I'd play
I rode
like
the bus for kindergarten and first grade, and then they changed the routes and wouldn't drop off right by my house, so my mom drove me to school every day since.
oh, you're
I'm
so
really
cool.
glad because I hated riding the bus. Bro, can I be like one of the last kids dropped off? So I didn't get home till like 3:30,
I was like
3:45.
the first
Dude,
stop.
there was a solid 2 years where every day I would play my DS on the bus.
That's valid.
I remember like playing Yokai Watch on the bus and Animal Crossing. Dude, I would play Animal Crossing every day on the bus.
Dang.
That went hard.
Dude, I remember my first bus. Like, it had some crazy adventures. Javi was on that bus. His brother was. I remember sitting with his brother the one time, and like,
Gavin or Chris?
Gavin, my bad. I kind of forgot
What a
Chris
goofy
was
fellow.
a thing. But there was a time where I sat with Gavin, and like, we would basically play hiding peekaboo with this one girl that was obsessed with Gavin. But, uh, and then there was also this one kid where we thought we were so cool and gangs like I don't know like rebellious because we'd like stand crouched but not actually sit while the bus was going.
Gotcha.
It was
That's
crazy.
pretty cool.
Mm,
Bus stories are just amazing.
Yeah,
I may have hated the bus,
I
but I'll miss it.
All right. So I
I
would
don't
say
have
that
any more stories. I don't think.
our stories are kind of winding down. I say maybe we give it a rest.
Yeah. Enough of looking back to the past for now. It's been a good episode.
That concludes the throw up episode. I'm sorry.
That was the throw up
That
and bus story episode
that's
featuring
exactly what it
the
was.
sturgeon.
The
Everyone give it up
sturgeon.
for sturgeon.
Love the sturgeon.
Woo! Yeah.
All right. We'll be back next week, I hope.
You can
Topic, no clue yet. We
you can
didn't even know this one until 30 minutes before.
yeah.
It wasn't 30 minutes.
All
It
right.
was like 8 hours.
Anyways, thanks for watching.
You can find us on YouTube and Spotify as of right now.
Yep.
Social media will be coming, so keep an eye out.
Have a great night. Make sure you kiss your dad. And love yourself.
Tom Brady?
Man.
Oh, Eli.
Man.
Good episode, guys.